Today I will answer top 5 carnivore diet questions. Welcome back to my channel. I am Sylvia and I'm a carnivore diet coach. Question number 1. Can I heal my gut with raw milk? And the answer is, I know I will disappoint you in most cases, no. I know there are a group of people out there, huge enthusiasts of raw milk, and they say that they fixed all of their gut issues with it. But I just haven't seen it in my own case and in many cases of my clients. It seems from my own practice that if you have severe gut issues that cause autoimmune processes, if your immune system has to interact with the milk protein, it starts seeing it as an invader and launches immune response to it. So if you have already symptoms of autoimmunity, you probably will do best with the carnivore diet that excludes dairy. And while we are talking about dairy, it is worth mentioning that there is a decent number of us out there that just don't do well with dairy, autoimmunity or not. Some people just don't tolerate dairy well at all, and your health will benefit if you eliminate dairy from your life or don't eat it most of the time. And if you are unsure whether this is you, just try for a period of time eliminating dairy from your diet and see what happens. Chances are you will feel a lot better and have more energy. And if you are one of those that are on the carnivore diet and still eat dairy and still complain that you didn't lose as much weight as you were looking to, eliminate dairy and see what happens. Question number 2. Will I reverse every disease with a carnivore diet? And if we are talking about modern chronic disease that is idiopathic in nature, in other words, we don't know why you got it, we have no cure for it, but we can give you medication that will manage symptoms for the rest of your life, that usually has to do with your gut. Your increased gut permeability is at the center of all your health problems. And so if you eat species appropriate diet, the perfect ultimate elimination diet, which would be carnivore diet, basically meat, fat, salt, and water, you will reverse most of your health problems. To be sure, there are other factors that can make us severely ill, not just the diet. There are plenty of environmental toxins, external stressors, including toxic people, that can make us severely ill. So just eating more steak may not be enough. You might have to make some other lifestyle changes in order to achieve optimal health, but it is definitely doable and within your reach. And let me add this, being carnivore for the last 5 years made me realize that meat-based diet, in fact, is the best diet for humans. It is the species appropriate diet. We evolved eating meat. And if our diet consists mostly of meat, I would say about 70%, some fruit and some root vegetables, that is, for the most part, the perfect diet. Now, when we are talking about chronic illness and some severe gut dysfunctions, we got to get down to just meat, fat, salt, and water. But overall, we should be eating mostly meat, some fruit, and some root vegetable. Okay, but I do want to make sure that if you are eating 70% of your diet meat and fat, that does not excuse you to drink sodas and eat highly processed, preserved carbohydrates. And that's not a good idea. We want to eat fruit and root vegetables. That is the closest to what our ancestors ate. Everything else has to go. Question number 3, can I reverse perimenopause if I go on the carnivore diet? And the definite answer is no. And that's because perimenopause is a cumulative payback for what your life was for the last 20-25 years. And by the last 25 years of your life, ladies, take account of what your diet was, how well did you sleep, how stressful were your relationships, how many pregnancies did you have, and how well did you recover from those pregnancies? Did you have adequate support? Were you living in chronic stress? Did you work 2-3 jobs? Did you go to college and partied, drunk, and try to do work at the same time? All of this accumulates, and now at 40 or 45 or 50, now is the payback time with interest, and that is the severity of your perimenopause symptoms. Now, that said, you will have a lot better experience with the perimenopause if you clean up your diet and you get it to as close to our ancestral way of eating as possible. And that mostly means carnivore diet. Now, what I find a lot with perimenopausal women is that there is an issue with thyroid, there's issues with hormones, and eating lots of meat and not a lot of anything else will help you to balance your hormones. Now, the conundrum in which many perimenopausal women find themselves in is that we are just not ready to pause, to slow down, to honor the hormonal changes that are happening in our bodies because our lives are at their peaks. And so, what to do in this case? Well, I'm on the carnivore diet for the last 5 years, and I decided to support myself with the hormone replacement therapy. What I was low on was testosterone and progesterone, but I did not want to take the pills because of my history of leaky gut issues and resulting from it autoimmunity. I did not want to swallow any pills. But I was open to things like creams, patches, suppositories, and pellets. And so I was low on testosterone and low on progesterone and still estrogen dominant, which is most of my life history. And so I got testosterone injected in my butt as a pellet, and I was taking progesterone as a micronized thing under my tongue. And let me tell you this, within 3 days, I sprang out of my bed and felt like 20 years was taking off my back, and I never looked back. Today, I just did my blood work to see my hormone levels. And as soon as they come back, I'm going to make another appointment and we will see if I qualify for another pellet, which, to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to take again. So, ladies, all perimenopausal ladies, there's a hope out there for you. Carnivore diet and hormone replacement therapy pairs very well, and you will have some amazing results. And question number 4, how quickly can I recover from a chronic disease with the use of carnivore diet? And it is a very difficult question to answer because there are so many different factors that will decide how quickly you recover from chronic disease. It is almost impossible to tell because it is so specific to every person. But that said, I want to give you something to go off. So, as I mentioned earlier in my video, most of the chronic disease starts and ends in your gut. So if you give your gut appropriate diet, meaning what it needs to heal itself, so mostly meat and animal fat, and you remove everything that is toxic to the gut, which is everything else, you will give your gut a chance to heal itself. And the complete cell turnover for the gut wall cells is about 28 days. And interestingly, most people that go on the carnivore diet will report major improvements to their health within a month of being on the carnivore diet. And obviously, there are other factors that play a role in your recovery, and that would be your age, how much prescription medications you have taken, if you had lots of antibiotics in your life history, if you were taking tons of painkillers, if you are a smoker, were there any other drugs, what kind of diet you were on most of your life. Even things like were you a breastfed baby or formula fed baby will decide how bad your health outcomes are and how quickly you can fix it. And the question number 5, what about fiber? What about it? It's not a nutrient and it definitely isn't essential. It's just a thing that irritates our gut, and most of the people will start moving things to their guts in order to get rid of it, not that your body really needs it. That's really how fiber works. But most people believe that in order to have bowel movement, they have to have tons of fiber. But the studies say otherwise. There's been very well quoted now studies of 63 individuals that had chronic constipation, and they went on a fiber free diet, and most of these individuals resolve their chronic constipation by the virtue of removing of all fiber from their diet. And if you're curious about it, I will link it in the description box. Check it out. I myself suffered from chronic constipation most of my adult life, and I realized it was a prelude to my issues with autoimmunity. And I went on the carnivore diet solely to reverse rheumatoid arthritis. I wasn't even thinking about my constipation. I just thought about it as something I had to deal with. And guess what? Within 10 days, my chronic constipation got resolved to never come back. And that happened because I removed all fiber from my diet. And most of my life, I was trying to treat my chronic constipation with the fiber because that's what the doctors were telling me to do. All right, this will do it for this week's video. I hope this has been helpful. I know these questions keep coming back over and over, so I'm happy to make this type of videos. And if I forgot to answer some of your other questions, that is only because there is just not enough time in the day. I do not intend on ignoring you. So if you have other questions that you want me to answer, keep asking. Eventually, I will see it and I will answer it. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that notification bell, sign up for my mailing list, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.